Hello, listeners. This is Kat, and welcome back to Put Your Hands Up Podfics. This will be the continuation of Spirit. This will be part 2, chapter 2, entitled Family. Zashi, I promise I'm all right. Nothing's wrong, Aizawa says calmly. I'm not hurt, and nothing bad happened to me, but I really need to explain this to you in person. Can you meet me at the station? Izuku shifts, sitting up and rubbing his eyes. His head aches, he's tired, and he doesn't know where he is. It all comes rushing back as he looks around the room, seeing Tsukuchi sitting in a chair across from him, and Aizawa sitting at a desk on the phone. They're in some kind of office, and Izuku's been laid out on a couch covered in a blanket. Oboro is there too, perched on the edge of the couch and looking at Izuku with sad eyes. Izuku's glad his new friend is there, feeling scared and lonely. His mom was gone. He doesn't know why, but he has a sense she won't come back, not like Oboro. His mom is gone. Izuku, you're in the police department, Tsukuchi says gently, walking over to sit next to him on the couch. We took you here to try and track down any family you might have. Is there anyone you want us to call? Izuku shakes his head, pulling the blanket up to his chin. It's just me and Mama. All right, Tsukuchi says gently, looking over at Aizawa. Thanks for telling me, Izuku. Is your friend here? Oboro, right? That's me, Oboro grins, waving at the officer. Izuku looks over at the ghost and then back to Tsukuchi, nodding slowly. Tsukuchi looks intrigued, shifting so he can see Izuku. Have you seen anyone like Oboro before? Anyone who wasn't alive? Insensitive, Oboro snorts, leaning back on his hands. This guy must be a new police officer. He's not very comforting, is he? Izuku, you should go hang out with Shota. Eraserhead, I mean. I know he looks tough, but he's a big softy. Izuku nods at Oboro, wriggling off the couch and walking over to Aizawa, who's still on the phone. Aizawa looks surprised as Izuku tugs on his leg, holding out his arms. Oh, hang on, Sashi, Aizawa says, setting the phone down on the desk and putting it on speaker. He reaches down to pick Izuku up, looking even more surprised when Izuku tucks his face against him. Everything okay? A voice comes out of the phone, and Aizawa turns back to it. Yeah, it's fine, Aizawa replies. I'll fill you in when you get here. See you soon, okay? All right, Sho. Love you, babe. Love you, too. Izuku's about to say something when Oboro practically shrieks. Izuku clamps his hands over his ears for a second, turning to see the ghost jumping up and down, pumping his fist in the air and cheering. Yes, yes, yes! Oboro shouts gleefully, clapping his hands. Shota and Hisashi finally got together. Holy shit! I can't believe it. I never thought they'd have the guts. Oh man, this is awesome. Aizawa gently taps Izuku's hand, and he looks up at the hero a little confused. You all right, kid? Aizawa asks, Tsukuchi walking over with a curious expression. Izuku nods. Yeah, Oboro just yelled really loud. He says he's really happy you and Sashi got together, and then he said a bad word. He's really excited. Aizawa's eyes widen in surprise before looking softly at Izuku. Tsukuchi nods. That's true, Aizawa. Kid's not lying. Aizawa just rubs Izuku's back, looking a little sadly at the empty space in the office where Izuku seems to be staring. Izuku's not sure what's going through the hero's head, but he wants to make sure Oboro stays happy too. They sit in silence for a long while, Izuku tucked up against Aizawa's chest. He had been sleeping for a long time, but he's still tired, so he drifts off as the hero gently rubs his back, soothing him to sleep. When he wakes up again, Izuku is sure he's dreaming. There's no way that Present Mike is in the police station right now. Present Mike is sitting on the couch, very seriously listening to Tsukuchi and looking at Aizawa, his eyes locking with Izuku's after a while. You're Present Mike, Izuku almost whispers, his eyes wide. Eraser! It's Present Mike! That's right, kid, Aizawa says, voice laced with humor. Maybe Present Mike could come over and introduce himself. Mike stands up and walks over, waving at Izuku. He has a big smile, but his eyes are a little sad as he looks at the child in Aizawa's arms. Hey, little listener, he says gently, kneeling so he's at Izuku's eye level. I've heard you've had a really rough day. I'm sorry, kid. You're right, I am Present Mike, but my real name is Hisashi Yamada. It's nice to meet you, Izuku. Izuku is still starstruck from meeting one of his favorite heroes when he hears laughing next to him. He turns to see Oboro grinning gleefully at Present Mike, slapping his leg. God, that hair! Oboro snorts. Izuku, how much hair gel do you think Hisashi uses to keep his hair up? A bottle? 2 bottles? Izuku shrugs, looking at Oboro. I don't know. 2? He misses Hisashi's look of confusion, distracted while Oboro laughs. Aizawa and Tsukuji both look at Izuku with intrigue, none of them seemingly wanting to interrupt. "Oh, sorry, buddy. I think we confused Hizashi," Oboro says, tapping his chin before snapping his fingers. "Got it. Turn to him and say Loud Cloud. That was my hero name. It'll clue him in that something's up." Izuku turns and looks at Hizashi before mumbling. "Oboro wants me to say Loud Cloud to you? Does that mean something?" Hizashi's eyes widen, and he looks absolutely shocked, staring at Aizawa, who nods grimly. "It's not a joke," Aizawa says gently. "Zashi, the kid can see him. He can see Oboro, talk to him. He's here right now. We think it's Izuku's quirk." "What?" Izuku asks. "His quirk?" "Well, duh," Oboro huffs. "Come on, Shota, explain it to the kid. Don't make me do everything here." Izuku sticks his thumb in his mouth, leaning against Aizawa and looking up at him. "Oboro says you're supposed to explain to me." "Right," Aizawa says a little awkwardly. "Well, Izuku, most people can't, see ghosts. A lot of people don't think ghosts are real. So, we think it's part of your quirk. You're 4, right? This would be about the right age for you to manifest it. Maybe that's how you saw your mom tonight, too." A stab of pain shoots through Izuku as he remembers what happened to his mom. Tucking his face against Aizawa's chest, he's scared, confused, and he just wants to go home. "Shota," Hizashi chokes out. This is crazy. Oboro, can you talk to us at all? Or can you only talk to Izuku?" "Interesting question," Oboro says, reaching out to put a hand on Hizashi's shoulder, which goes straight through him. "I guess just Izuku. Shame. I miss you both. I'd love to talk to you again." "He says just me," Izuku mumbles into Aizawa's shirt. "But he's sad, too." There's silence after this, and Izuku hears Oboro sigh, but not say anything more. Tsukuji clears his throat, and they all look at him, Izuku keeping his thumb in his mouth. He's so tired. "Izuku, you can't stay at your mom's all alone, so we need to find someone to take care of you," Tsukuji says gently. "There's a nice lady coming who's going to find a really nice home for you to stay in, okay?" Izuku tenses, instantly scared. He looks up at Aizawa, eyes filling with tears. He doesn't want to leave. He's terrified. He doesn't want to go anywhere new, doesn't want a new family. "That's not necessary," Aizawa says, tightening his hold on Izuku. "Hizashi and I will take him." "Hell yeah," Oboro grins. "I knew you were a big softy, Shota." "Yeah, the little listener's gotta come with us," Hizashi exclaims. "What do you think, Izuku? Do you want to live with me and Shota?" Izuku stares, eyes boggling. "Stay with Eraserhead and Present Mike? Like, live with you?" "Yeah," Aizawa says, sounding a little anxious. "We'd adopt you, kid. You'd be our son. We can never replace your mom, but we want to take care of you. Do you want to come home with us?" Izuku nods, the tension in his body draining out of him. Aizawa is safe. Prison Mike, Hizashi, is safe, and Oboro seems happy, which means everything's going to be okay. He tries not to think about his mom, not wanting to get sad and cry again. Izuku falls asleep on Aizawa's chest while the 3 men figure out all the paperwork. Izuku wakes up somewhere he's never been. It's an apartment, and he's curled on a futon. There are moving boxes on the floor next to him, and sunlight is streaming in through the windows. Izuku yawns, rubbing his eyes and getting out of bed, trying to remember where he is. He steps out of the room, eyes widening when he takes in the apartment. He sees a living room with a big couch, TV, bookshelves, a desk and a computer, and lots of plants. There's pictures on the walls of Hizashi and Aizawa, and he even spots one with Oboro in it. Next to the living room is a small round dining table with 4 chairs and then a small kitchen. Izuku turns to see a bathroom and a door that must lead to Aizawa and Hizashi's bedroom. This must be his new home. Izuku peeks at the boxes on the floor, gasping when he recognizes a few things. The boxes are filled with items from his room back home, and he begins taking them out one at a time. "Good morning," a sleepy-sounding Aizawa says, leaning on the doorframe. "I see you found your stuff." Izuku nods, working to carefully take out all of his toys, books, and clothes. Aizawa sits down next to him, and they empty the boxes in silence. Truthfully, Izuku doesn't have much. There's about 24 books, all of which Izuku stacks on an empty bookcase in the room. Next, he has a box of clothes, which Aizawa's currently working on putting away in a chest of drawers against the wall. Other than that, Izuku has a notebook he likes to draw in, and a handful of toys including a well-loved All Might action figure, a beat-up soccer ball, a worn-looking stuffed cat, a set of building blocks, some plastic dinosaurs, and some racing cars. Are these really all of your toys? Aizawa asked curiously. We told the movers to pack up your whole room. Izuku nods, looking at his cherished toy collection. Mama didn't have a lot of money. She couldn't afford lots of toys, but I love these ones a lot, especially All Might. He's the coolest. Aizawa smiles, encouraging Izuku to tell him more about the All Might action figure, which Izuku gladly does. The rest of the morning is spent with Aizawa making a list of decor, toys, and books for Izuku's room, wanting him to feel as welcome as possible. The next few days pass in a bit of a blur. Izuku goes to his mom's funeral, which is a sad affair, but Izuku keeps his head down and doesn't talk to anyone. The Bakugos come, but Izuku's too shy to say anything to Kachan, just trying to keep from crying as he gets through the service. Your new dad is Prison Mike? Kachan walks over, asking him bluntly at the end of the service. Izuku just nods, clinging to Hisashi's hand. Hisashi says something to Bakugo, but Izuku doesn't hear it. He's sick with sadness, exhausted with grief. The funeral ends with Aizawa carrying Izuku against him, while Izuku cries into his shoulder, eventually crying himself to sleep. He doesn't see Oboro at all that day. Back home, Izuku's sitting on his new bed. Aizawa and Hisashi had ordered one, and for the first time, Izuku has a bed instead of a futon. It's a bit weird sleeping up higher, but it's fun to have an under-the-bed area to store things and play. Why can't I see Mommy? Izuku asks Oboro, watching as Oboro hovers in midair cross-legged. Your mom's moved on, Oboro says quietly. It's hard to explain, but she can't come back, not like me. Something's keeping me stuck here, but I don't know what it is. Izuku considers this for a moment, trying not to be too sad about his mom. Maybe I can help you figure it out. If seeing ghosts is my quirk, maybe I'm supposed to help you. Maybe, Oboro concedes. But right now, kid, you need to heal. Get to know Sho and Sashi. They're great guys, and they're going to be awesome dads. And if they aren't, I'll kick their butts. Izuku giggles, feeling a little better, as Oboro talks to him. All right, listeners, this concludes Chapter 2 of Spirits. Chapter 3 will be up next. I hope you all are enjoying this fic so far. Eager to hear your thoughts and reactions, and as always, thank you so much for listening.